Okay, so in this short video I'm going to show you how to render a slow to render Rmarkdown document using the RStudio IDE Jobs tab. The Jobs feature for the RStudio IDE allows you to run R jobs in the background that don't block any of your other work. So what we've got is a slow to render Rmarkdown document. Now, in the real world, this could be anything. This could be an ETL job. It might be training a model or something like that. This particular document is actually a bit of a fake, so it's not very interesting at all. And then just in the middle, it sleeps for 120 seconds. So it sleeps for 2 minutes in the middle, which is why this job takes a little bit of a long time. So ordinarily, you'd hit knit. That would start an Rmarkdown tab where the document would be knitted. The thing with the Rmarkdown tab is that you can't knit two documents at once. So if your document takes not 2 minutes to run, but maybe it takes an hour to run or something, it could be longer, could be several hours to run because it's doing a lot of compute intensive work. That Rmarkdown tab is effectively blocking you then from knitting any other Rmarkdown documents. So what we've got here is a function called renderWithJobs. I'll put a link to the function in the description at the bottom. But what this function does effectively is it takes the active document in the RStudio IDE and it creates a job submission. It creates a little script to knit the active document, and then it submits that using the RStudio API to the Jobs API. So if we just get this function into our environment there, you can see renderWithJobs over in the environment pane now. And if I go back to my slow to render Rmarkdown document, my slow to render Rmarkdown document is now the active document. So if I run renderWithJobs, it will get the active Rmarkdown document and it will submit that as a job to the Jobs API. And you can see it's automatically flipped over to the Jobs tab and we have a job running. It's stuck at the moment in the slow section of the document, which is exactly what we expected because that's where I put the sleep for 2 minutes. If we go back to the main part of the jobs pane, we can see here that the job is currently rendering. That's the job name, slow to render.rmd. And what I can also do is if I copy and paste this into a new Rmarkdown document, so we've got two documents that are effectively the same. I'll call this one slow to render 2. What we'll do is, now that this is the active document, if I go over to my terminal again, my console rather, and run renderWithJobs again, it will grab the new active document, which is slow to render 2, and it will submit that to jobs. So now you can see here it's probably quite small, slow to render 2.rmd. If I go back to the main jobs tab there, you can see that we've actually got two jobs now being knitted at once. Now this is all done through the renderWithJobs function. As I said, the renderWithJobs function gets the active document name from RStudio. It creates a script to knit that document as you would if you used the knit button, which blocks. But it creates a script to knit that Rmarkdown document, and then it submits that script to the RStudio Jobs API to start the job. And you can see here our first job now, because it's been 2 minutes, has now succeeded. So if I just bring that tab over so we can have a look at it. It's not very interesting, it's a very boring document, but you can see the sleep for 120 seconds there in the middle of the document. So that document has finished obviously it's writing just the output to the current working directory. Slow to render 2 is still running. We've still got probably about 40 seconds left on that one. And I guess the point of this is that the renderWithJobs function itself is really it's a starting point for you. So you might want to change some of the way that this works. You could change it so that it doesn't get the active document. Instead, it presents a file chooser or something like that. But this is a great kind of foundation for rendering Rmarkdown documents with the Jobs tab. And we'll see Slow to Render 2 is almost finished. Got a couple of seconds left on that one. And okay, so Slow to Render 2.rmarkdown has finished rendering as well now, and we can see the output in the Files tab of the IDE here with the appropriate timestamp on it. So that's just a really quick overview of how you render an Rmarkdown document using the Jobs tab, so you can render multiple documents at the same time. It's especially useful for long-running documents, and as I say, I'll put a link to the renderWithJobs function in the description below the video. Thanks for watching.